What is up, YouTube? We are back for another episode on Kyron Horman. This episode is going to be all about the misinformation that is out there. It is just me and Garnett today.
Hello.
Garnett. How are you?
I am okay.
Good. I'm gonna be snacking. So I
What
hope
are we
nobody minds.
snacking
But,
on, Lexi?
huh?
What are you snacking on?
I am snacking on strawberry flavored Chex Mix.
Oh, I seen that in the store today. Thought about getting it.
Oh my gosh, it's so freaking good. They have like ones with powdered sugar and just strawberries. So good. But okay. So you guys, we want to do an episode. This is going to be our last episode on Kyron. Well, for now, later on, if we have updates or anything else, we'll obviously do another show on him. We just want to talk about all the misinformation, all the stuff that is being said, but not true. There's a ridiculous amount.
There is a ridiculous amount. Started early on. That's what's so shocking about this case. Is if you go back even to the very beginning, the reporters and stuff were putting out misinformation right from the start.
Mm-hmm. We just saw one. We just saw an article earlier saying that Dee Dee was missing. No, Dee Dee and Terry were missing from
9 a.m. till 1. Yeah. From 9 a.m. till 1. They hadn't seen either of them.
So that just shows you right there that a lot of this has just been handled the wrong way, and just it's like a game of phone tag or whatever. Not phone tag. What is that? Remember you used to play that game and like tell a secret in somebody's ear and then they would have to pass it on to the next person.
And by the time it got to the end of the room, it was
completely
different from how it had started. Yes, I remember that.
Oh my god. But so yeah, we just want to go over some stuff. I really, really want to talk about. Hey, Thomas. Yay. Telephone. Yes. I'm so glad that you came to watch us. I already know how you feel on it, but maybe some of the stuff that you hear from us will make you kind of think, maybe it is somebody else. Before we talk about anything, I want to talk about what we just found. Garnett, do you want to talk about the TK thing?
Yeah. During some of this research and stuff, looking at some of the misinformation, there was an article by, hold on, just give me 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article by KATU, ABC, and about 3/4 of the way through it, it says one person who has been asked again about what he saw in Skyline, 7th grader, we're going to use the TK. The science fair project was on antimatter. He said investigators came back to interview him last week at his home. He says, I just saw him, Kyron, in the gym, and I saw the truck out in the parking lot. He said Wednesday, he said Kyron was looking at other student science fair projects and seemed happy and was with.
Hello? Garnett? Are you there? Did you leave me?
Not leave you.
Oh, I hear you now.
Okay. I don't know why you lost me, but he said Terry Horman wasn't with Kyron at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in all the accounts that I have read, she never took the truck into the parking area. Her truck was always on the side of the road there on that grate.
And so it was even confirmed, right, that she was parked on that grate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what the police have said. You know, even with this bogus flyer that they put out, but even in that flyer, they say she was parked on the grate and possibly somebody moved the truck to the access road, which then the groundskeeper said couldn't have been.
And the groundskeeper, that's the one that has a white truck himself.
Yes.
And so a white truck, that could have been anyone's. I also want to bring up, a while back, we found out that there was this tip where somebody saw Kyron going down the hall, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to go look at this cool, electric
project, yeah.
Electric project." So this TK person, I'm not sure if it's a different person or the same, but this just, it links together because now we know, okay. So several people saw him going to the gym, and an antimatter project is, it has to do with like electrical charges, magnetic stuff. So that's probably the cool electric project that he was talking about.
Right, that the other classmate of Kyron's was talking about.
Yep. So another person told the police, and I remember who, but I'm not going to say his name. He told the police that he saw him in the hallway, and he said that. So now we're finding out that this TK person said the same exact thing.
Said that he'd seen him in the gym, and just happened that this new guy, and it's not new. That was back in July that article was written that I was reading, but this kid had also put him in the gym without Terry.
Yeah, and that's not the only person. I mean, there's been.
Terry's lawyer says that there's a couple of teachers, and so, and that definitely leads to the misinformation that we hear, all the time coming from the book. There's 4 people that, and those 4 people can say whatever they want, but they like to make it sound like nobody has said that he was at the school. And that just isn't true.
And that goes with, so this is another thing, you guys. Somebody said that they saw someone in the car with her, that they stayed in the car, which people are saying is Dee Dee. Dee Dee clocked in to work. Dee Dee Spicer. I can never say her last name. Dee Dee clocked in at work. She was in at 9 a.m. that day. Terry left school at 8:45 and was at Fred Meyer's at 9 o'clock.
And Dee Dee drove her car to work. Her car was at work all day.
I think the only reason they brought her into this is because she was a good friend. She stayed with her friend 11 days. And you guys, she didn't buy the cell phones. Everybody says that she bought the burner phones. She didn't buy them. We put an article in our group.
And yes, that actually was involved in the purchasing of those phones. I believe that even in the article, I believe that it stated that it was her idea, the other friends.
Yeah, it did. Isn't that crazy? This whole time, everybody's been told this one, just the same thing over and over again, and people ran with it. But if you actually do your research and look, you can find out like, oh my God, let me not listen to this person that has a grudge, you know, to hold against Terry. Let me do some actual research because Dee Dee stayed with her for 11 days. There was no cable. There was no service. If you guys have seen Kane's house, it's very secluded. It's in woods. And that's why I think maybe, I'm not sure, that Terry emailed a lot. I mean, it would make sense if she didn't have that good of service. I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day.
That does make sense. I mean, to me, for us to just think that some woman has the magical power to convince a friend to help her get rid of a child.
No money involved.
No money. 11 days. They say that it's because of a relationship. Well, they had 11 days together. And during those 11 days, Terry's obviously sexting with some guy. So what did Dee Dee get? That's always my question. What did she get out of it?
Nothing. Like a certain
Because
group.
you think that for some reason she was just, she got nothing. She didn't get Terry. She didn't get money. What did she get out of it? Why would
she was being a good friend. And if you're smart, you're not going to insert yourself. Like if she would have never went to stay with Terry, she might have been questioned. But the last time they saw each other before that, I think it would have had. I think it was reported.
The birthday party. That's what the understanding that I get. Is that they hadn't spoken since the birthday party.
And that's what, like 6 months?
Something like that. It was a good amount of time. It was Terry's 40th birthday.
So, you guys, Dee Dee and Terry were not in love. They can't even, their lawyers told them they can't speak to each other or something, so they don't even speak. I really think Dee Dee was being a very good friend, and Terry lost everything at the time. She lost her son, she lost her daughter, she lost her husband, she lost everything. She was being threatened. And those days after Kane divorced her, she was already being threatened. Like she was fearing for her life. She could not go out in public because they wanted to kill her. She was getting death threats on a daily.
Right. Right. And from somebody that has been in that situation, on a much smaller scale, but having an entire community hate you, that's very hard, and it's very isolating. I still had the support of my family. So I could not imagine what it would have been like without any support. Thank God for a good friend.
Right. Everyone before that, they describe her. I mean, well, no. First, I want to say there's also people saying that she wanted revenge on Kane for kicking James out of the house. And you guys know James is Terry's son. Well, Kane didn't kick James out of the house. Terry kicked him out of the house. And it was actually a good thing because he started getting really good grades living with his grandparents. So she had no reason to be mad at Kane for that at all. That was her decision. But her being described, like she stopped everything. She stopped her job. Her dream job was being a teacher, and she was great at it from what I've read, from what everybody said. She had 2 degrees in elementary education, and they said she was a really good teacher, a really good mother, a really good friend. The fact that they're calling her a gold digger because she quit her job and she put her ex on child support. Well, that's normal. A lot of people put the dads on child support, especially if they're not helping in any kind of way. She stopped working at her job, not so she could be taken care of, but so she could take care of Kyron. So to me, that's not even, oh yeah, she's a gold digger. I mean, what does that even have to do with, she was still getting.
Well, see, that's the thing with the public view and Terry.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, she's been, for lack of anything better, the Cinderella in this story. She's been, she's the wicked stepmother, and it's that whole persona that they have pushed in the media of how evil this woman is. It started, and Lexi, I know you weren't involved early on, but early on when they did the first news conference, it started right then. And there's groups on Facebook still today that are pushing that same agenda, that she's this terrible, horrible monster. They've taken her pictures, Terry's pictures, and cut her out of them. You can
every single picture, not every single picture, but mostly every single picture that you guys see of Kyron online is from Terry. Terry raised him. If she would have never taken any of those pictures, there probably would have been a good, maybe like 50. I don't know. But there wouldn't have been nearly as much pictures as there are now. Those were all of Terry's pictures, and they took them from her Facebook. They took them and they also cropped her out of a lot. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but
you're right. Yes, they did. They just cut her out because it didn't fit their agenda. You can't have this woman being a mother figure and everybody just hate her. If you look at the whole thing, bio mom wasn't there a whole lot. And, she did very little as far as the daily upkeep of Kyron. I said it before. It takes a special type of person to try to combine families the way that Terry did. I think for me, that's the thing that sticks out the most, because I have a blended family myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have an ex. My husband has an ex, and we raised kids together. We had 7 between us, and sometimes that can be very complicated. And Terry juggled all of that. She made the trips for the visit. She did all of that.
You guys, she's the one that brought the kids to Desiree. She's the one that made that drive. She did all of that stuff. She was, if you look on her old Facebook, she would always tag, Desiree and projects and whatever Kyron had going on. She would tag Desiree. And you would think if Desiree hated this person so much, she would have told her, like, why are you tagging me? Or why, like something wasn't.
Yeah, because in some of those pictures on the old Facebook, they even have Terry referring to herself as mom.
Mm-hmm.
And Desiree acknowledging the picture.
Yeah.
I am sorry, but if there was some woman that I didn't trust or have some sort of faith in, calling herself my child's mother, I would have, in the very least, have had a reaction to that.
Oh yeah, I would have had a talk with her or the ex, and I would have been like, no, like, what do you mean you're letting my son call you mom? Or right. It's just weird.
It is weird. for it not to be a problem. That to me says that everybody was very comfortable with the situation the way it was up until June 4th.
Exactly. And then from there, it was just, let's pin it on one person, because there's no way it could have been one of the 300 plus people at the school with the doors unlocked. Like, no way.
Leads right off with the police. And there's a lot of questions about what was happening in that police department.
Lots, you guys. There was so much corruption going on. You want to explain like the steroid thing?
Yeah, the steroid thing.
Oh my God.
That goes back 2 months before this whole thing with Kyron happened. And now the way I understand it is Carrie was involved in setting up the first stings that bring all of this steroid abuse throughout several communities, not just police, but bodybuilders and gyms. Like, the way I understood the article that I read, definitely it sounded like Carrie had a hand in setting up a thing there. And then to go further, now you've got they've got her. They can, seek some sort of a revenge here, and whatever. It's just all very strange to me that with as much corruption as in, I just don't know.
Stop. I'm doing a video. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. Let me kick my kids out the room. That's what everybody... Arctic. Last time I got accused of kicking my kids out of the room and giving them evil looks. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, definitely the steroid thing. I mean, we all know how corrupt cops can be. And we know, what was his name? Stinson.
Yeah.
He actually has a record.
Yep.
The main detective, or the lead detective on the case, he has several stuff going on. I know what was it that we looked up, and he had
was it an aggravated
sexual? He had like sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
Right. And then on his charges, he has an actual charge, and I forgot what it was. But anyway, this dude was not a good dude. These police officers were really corrupt. We all know how that goes when police are corrupt. And,
right. I was reading a thing on Bobby O'Donnell, who was the lead detective in this at the very beginning, and his techniques. He actually went to court, and I was reading the records from that case.
Hold on. Arctic said, so question, you said you think Kyron was trafficked. What leads you to believe that? I believe, because there's no proof, there's no evidence. I've had Harry Oakes on the channel who offered his help in looking for Kyron. He owns search and rescue dogs. He's helped hundreds and hundreds of people. He's a real professional. They didn't want his help. I feel like the school should have been held accountable, and they weren't. And I feel like they were covering up because they knew somebody went in and took him. And we've had several tips come to us about random, people, or even somebody that worked there. I feel he was sex trafficked because Oregon is like one of the highest states, right, of child trafficking.
Yes, there is a huge.
It's huge. Like, So many children go missing. It's ridiculous. There's, if you look it up, there's a large, very large amount.
And
Just the fact that nobody has found him, and it was one of the largest searches in Oregon history. So nobody's found him dead. And I mean, maybe somebody's keeping him, and maybe they gave him a new life and he doesn't remember. But to me, it's just, I don't know why my gut tells me he was trafficked. I don't know.
And for me, I really don't know what happened to Kyron. All I know is that he's not here. And I don't think that we have looked nearly wide enough to focus on one person.
Oh, yeah, you guys. So Ellie put a new age progression photo. And they told us, please, 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 like, share this, keep sharing. Like, you guys are doing an amazing job. You're sharing it. So that to me, that makes me think, okay, there's still hope that he's alive. And they're looking in different countries now. That's what they told James, right?
Yeah. They said that they actually went international with the search for him.
And that's what they were supposed to do. 12 years and nothing. 12 years and nothing has happened because they've been looking at this one person or two people. I posted it to my page several times. Oh, yeah, the age progression. We really appreciate it. Because that's what they want. They want everybody. It doesn't matter what country, what state you're in. Like, it needs to go around. There's a group going around, a group that's here that says Kyron is dead and Dee Dee buried him. Now, this is a group that's been around for a long time. A lot of people are in it. But for statements to be made like that, why would you even want to think that way? Why would you even want that? Like, I wouldn't even bring that into existence, It's just so weird to me. And that's another thing. Like, people would take that. People actually comment on that post and they're like, oh my God, that's so horrible. Like, where did she do that at? So this woman is literally making people think that. And it's not okay. Now people are going after Dee Dee, like wanting to kill her, wanting to murder her too. It's just
only that. It's not only that. It's not only about who they're going after, but it closes people's eyes. Okay, we're not looking for this child anymore. We're looking for a body.
Yeah.
And once those eyes close, it's hard to get them open again.
It is. And that's why we're doing this, you guys. People are saying we're a Terry support group, but it doesn't matter who we think's innocent or guilty, but we do want people's eyes open. We don't want them to just look at one person because it hasn't worked in 12 years. Now, that group that I'm talking about, now they've been quiet. And I have a feeling because I've said something. I mentioned it to well, I'm just gonna say Ellie. These people are spreading this information and it doesn't look good. So now their group has been totally silent, which is a good thing, and that's not normal for them.
Well, it's not even that they have to be quiet, but at least give hope that he's, I don't get them. That's the end of talking about them because that's not what this is. I mean, what we're trying to do is put an end.
But I'm just saying the misinformation on their page. But I mean, that's how you can you see. Okay, well they were quieted. What the hell kind of like a mosquito? Arctic said, I mean, stranger things have happened. I've covered cases where children were recovered alive after 40 years. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, look at I always bring that up and I can't say her name right. Dugard?
Yeah, JC.
Mm-hmm. The stepdad was accused all those years and They found her.
Yep. It happened.
So, oh, go ahead.
You go ahead. I'm good. I don't know where I was headed.
I wasn't even headed anywhere. I'm over here listening to my kids scream in the hallway, and in one ear I'm over here trying to listen to you, so I probably just blurted something out like randomly. You hear them screaming?
I do.
I'm gonna be called a horrible mother now because my kids are screaming in the hallway. They're okay though. I hope. But yeah, you guys, so it's just, you can think what you want, but we don't want everybody to give up hope, and we want people to know there is so much. We've already proved the book to be filled with non-facts, and it's very one-sided. It is one-sided. There's no other side to it.
Yep, it was not a book that was written to cover any side but one.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's and we had the author on our page, and we would even call her out. Like, I know I would tag her in things, you know, and she wouldn't respond. So it's like, you know, I think you know that you're wrong and that you shouldn't have even wrote it like that. I would think that someone would look into all sides. We're talking about a child here. It's not, I think the book is not about, it shouldn't have been about every single bad thing that's happened in one person's life. But if you want to go ahead and call somebody else out, like Terry, then that's why we say you need to go ahead, look at your past, look at your background, and do the same thing. I'm pretty sure if Terry decided to write a book that was very one-sided, there would be so much stuff to be spilled. But it's not even about that. It's about Kyron. And I don't even think the book was really, it didn't really help him in any kind of way.
No, and it definitely, I find it hard that it was about Kyron, because it was more about the mislike for Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And how odd and wrong she was in absolutely everything. In the book, it says, you know, that she washed everything in the house and they didn't have anything for scent. Now, you and I and the man in the moon know that there's no way that's possible.
There is no way. She washed every single article of Kyron's scent.
There's another expert from that book that says that she gave Desiree the CSI shirt. She couldn't have given Desiree the CSI shirt. Kyron had it on. What are you talking about?
And it's like, why? Why are you trying to lead away from the truth? Why are you spewing these non-factual things?
Why
like nothing.
The tunnel vision? Why in one area? And I really feel like in the early days, that's definitely what happened. I mean, I'm not real familiar, but is there not, I think, I-5 or something that runs right there? That if somebody took them, they could have been gone. Really.
They had 8 hours ahead. Like,
but even at 8 hours, we didn't stop any of that traffic on those main roads. We focused right there at home. We focused at the school. We never spread that net anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and you know, there was tips from other places.
I was going to say, you can be out of the country in that area. You know, I'm from Pennsylvania. to get out of the country, you really got to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But in that area, they could have been out of the country within the 8 hours, correct? Is that not what we discussed with Lita, I believe?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was
like they could have been out of the country, and I believe it was like 4 hours. Lita had estimated they could be completely out of the country.
I remember we spoke about it. I just don't remember how long, but it was very little time. I wish Lita was on here too.
Yes, we miss her, but you know, she's got to take care of her husband.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so just looking around the school, looking around the home, that went on for what, a couple days?
Yeah, where they didn't go anywhere, and then they focused on Harry's trip. You know, they focused on where she was that day. They never opened that net. As far as the net, what net went was Sabi Island.
Yeah.
Like, we never checked or put nothing in place, nothing on any of these main highways.
They never really, I mean, you guys, there was so many, there was 2 people. One man was seen on, what is that, Highway 30 at a gas station?
Yep.
Or asking where the nearest school was. He was pacing back and forth. He was acting very weird. The clerk was pregnant, and the guy asked her, where's the nearest school? And that was the day of the science fair. And she told him, like, who would tell, I've said this before, who would do that? I would never tell a sketchy man.
I thought that was the day before, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I thought it was the same.
Either way, it was really close. It was right there in connection with that.
And then, you know, we have David Durham, who
was acting weird 6 months before.
And he was at the store near the school.
Right.
You know, now he's like on the FBI's most wanted. Like, he started acting weird 6 months after Kyron went missing, and he lives on Sabi Island.
No, he was acting weird from the time Kyron went on. That incident happened 6 months later, where he shot the policeman. So, you know, could he have been feeling the pressure from all the searches?
Yeah.
Could he have been, you know, definitely. And from what I've read, they truly believe that he killed himself.
David?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he is on the FBI most wanted. But, like, in the article I read, it definitely, his family believed that he killed himself.
You know, in Arctic, if you watched our video before this, we named, there was a homeless man. He was trying to kidnap another child the same age as Kyron, what, the day after? Or was it 4 days after?
Something like that. I would have to go back and look.
4 days after, in the same area. And then there's this guy called the Boogeyman, where he did a lot of crazy stuff to young children, like disgusting, disturbing stuff. And that was in the same.
Out on parole, but not being monitored because he was homeless.
Yeah.
At the time Kyron went missing.
I mean, Arctic, how many cases have you done? I know you've covered a lot. How many have you done where the person has been wrongly accused and it just messed up the whole entire case? You know, like when I was on live the other day.
I have a really serious question for somebody that dealt with a lot of these cases too. So when you're done,
you can go ahead.
Well, like, there's in the book, and we know I don't believe a whole lot out of that book, but there's something in that book that really has been eating at me. And that's that the police wired Kane up within 24 hours trying to get evidence on Terry. And I find that really, really odd that they would wire up a parent in a missing child's case that quick.
Yeah. And she was never a suspect. Right?
Not that I know of. She
was never
a suspect or a person of interest.
Never, because I just read that before we went on.
And I was thinking, like, the only thing I've ever seen the police say is that they didn't consider her a suspect.
He said it's definitely happened. I mean, it's happening as we speak in the Michael Vaughn case. Michael Vaughn. I feel like we just talked about this earlier. Oh my god, my memory. Remind me again. And what do you feel about this case, Arctic? Like, she left me by myself. If you go back and watch all our videos, like, we've reached out to people that are friends or, you know, family friends that live there, that we've talked to all different types of people. So we're getting this information, and, you know, we're not just going off of hearsay. Oh my god, I hope she comes back on here. I'll cry. My anxiety's gonna get bad. Garnett, oh my god. Oh, here she goes. Missing out of...
You know, I have to get out of here at least once a show.
I was about to cry. I was like, missing out of Fruitland, Idaho. So what are they saying about Michael? Because look, if you solely went off the media, what is your opinion, Arctic? Because I know you told me the other day, but that's you not doing any other kind of research, or, you know, you're just hearing from what the media or from what the mom's side or whatever. Like, you're hearing one side.
It's better to think that it's not completely unnormal for them to wire up a parent that early on.
Yeah.
That really worries me about tunnel vision.
Yeah. Do you think that's normal, Thomas, about the wiring up Kane, like, in the first 24 hours? And she wasn't even a suspect. Oh my god, she left me again. Drop a link. Okay, hold on. Wait, do I have to get off of here to go do it? Garnett.
It's the damn chats that get me.
I am going to kill you.
I know. I'm gonna be fired.
Arctic wants to come on. He said drop a link. If I go to messages, and will this whole thing close out? Or how do I do that?
Just make it small.
Okay, hold on. Let me go into chat.
Yep.
I'm gonna post a comment. Nobody else try to join this, because I will take you out. Oh, hold on. Did I do it?
I don't know.
We're gonna have a special guest. Yay! I don't know. The link is on there. Oh, yay, it worked.
Hey,
Hello.
hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so here's where I'm at and why I focused on Terry myself initially is because of her supposedly taking a hitman out on Kane not too long before Tyron went missing. And that's what
Um,
really has my mind focused on her.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If it's just the murder for hire plot, why after 12 years wouldn't they have done something if they really had a murder for hire plot? Now, in my mind, I tend to think this murder for hire plot has just been set up trying to put pressure on Terry. And when it didn't play out in their favor, it's just laid dead after 12 years.
because you have to realize this guy didn't come out for after 6 months, right? And
No,
I've
he came out like in July. I think
it was the other one. It was the other one that came out.
Yeah, it was the gardener that you're thinking of.
But like I spoke to him. And how is Terry supposed to speak to somebody that does not know English? Like, could you communicate and set up a plot, to hire someone to kill someone if you didn't know their language?
There's people that speak Spanish that could translate for. I mean, I'm kind of keeping an open mind. I'm not saying that Terry did it. I mean, I'm trying to keep an open mind, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and just hear the entire live be defending Terry either. I mean, which is what it seems like. It seems like this is the Terry Holland Terry support group is what it seems.
Okay, so let me address that. I guess for me, if it would turn out that Terry did this, I would celebrate just as hard as if it turned out to be anybody. I don't necessarily support Terry, but we have known, I can almost tell you what Terry ate and shit for lunch that day. You know what I mean? After 12 years, that's all I know about is Terry and how terrible Terry is. But I haven't seen where we've really looked at anybody else.
Why did she move away from the area? I mean, I understand, people were not being the nicest to her, but if she cared so much about this child, and this child was her everything, and she took care of him and all this, I would stick around and participate in these searches. I'd be shouting from the rooftops, please help me find this child. I haven't seen that from her.
I definitely know what you're saying, but if you had the police breathing down your neck and analyzing absolutely everything you said, along with the media, and you've got the perfect bio mom who has stepped in and now plays a bigger part in her child's life. I've been in the situation where the entire my small community hated me.
She's going to automatically be under a microscope because she was the last person to see Tyron alive.
No. But there's people that were subpoenaed to court by her lawyer because they saw Kyron even after she left. They have 3 teachers, and then they have how many students did they say?
Numbers now, but I know that it was a significant amount. I know now of 2 for sure that were children that seen him, and I know of at least 1 teacher that has seen him that I can actually find places that say this. The article I just found about the 7th grader.
Are not matched up.
I'm certainly open to the trafficking aspect of it too, because you're right. Oregon is a high trafficking area. And if that's the case, then
Yeah.
the school definitely needs to be held accountable. Now,
And
I'm not
why do you
familiar
think they weren't? Why do you think they weren't held
because there's not
accountable?
evidence of trafficking at this point. There's nothing that points to trafficking at this point.
All right, so you are more of an expert than I am. What would be a leading sign of trafficking?
Well, normally in a trafficking aspect, there would be something that pops up on the radar. You know, like in the Johnny Gosh case, he was a
Oh, we were
paperboy
talking about that earlier. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. He was a paperboy that went missing. I think it was like 1982.
1982.
Anyway. And you know, there have been documented pictures of him in pornographic videos since the time that he went traffic.
All right.
There's usually things that show up. Now, did that school? I'm not, and believe me, I'm not as familiar with this case as you all are. Did the school have any type of video surveillance? I know it was
none.
Wow.
None. All the doors were unlocked.
They had 8 doors that were open.
Nobody had to sign in or out.
Science fair. Lexi,
yeah, that was before the days that our schools turned into supermax prisons. So, but,
it was.
I mean, if that's the case and he was trafficked, they should definitely be held accountable. Not as much, though, given that time. Because it's not like the Ryan Larson case where he went missing from his school in 2021 and the freaking school didn't even have any fucking cameras in the school.
Wait, who was that?
Insane.
Who?
Ryan Larson. He's a 12-year-old autistic child that went missing from his school.
In 2021 with no cameras?
Yes, now they've got cameras now, after the fact, after all the pressure was put on them.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
These
people make me sick. All this shit that's going on with shootings and all this other stuff, and by 2021, you would think every school would be filled with cameras, at least. I mean,
it's unheard of granted, it was an elementary school, but still, in 2021, I can't imagine a school not having video surveillance footage.
Exactly. I live in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and we have cameras in our...
But see, we're glad that you're open-minded. We don't want to sound like we're Terry supporters. We're Kyron supporters. But our thing is, look, Arctic, if you knew everything that we've had to go through, which you kind of got a glimpse of the craziness earlier when we were doing the prayer thing, like that situation, but 20 times worse. Like my family's been harassed. They've been threatened. My kids have been threatened by so many people. And, the mom she was trying to threaten legal actions because we're trying to raise money for Kyron, searches and all this stuff. So we have everybody going after us, but what we put into this, our passion for it, should show people, no, we are here for Kyron. But at the same time, we just want people looking elsewhere for once. Maybe that will help find him. Maybe
I get that. I do. And I think the private investigator idea is a great option. I verified that we can hire one without the family's approval. So,
Right. You don't think that will get in the middle of, you don't think LE, because I have, a connection with them, but you don't think that they would be like, why are you doing this? Like, you're stepping on our toes.
That's what I said. You would definitely want to talk to law enforcement and say, hey, I'm not trying to hurt the integrity of your investigation. I'm trying to help the investigation, to look at some other avenues and work hand in hand with you.
Right.
So I think the private investigator thing is really good.
I do too. I think that's a really strong avenue, and it makes me, because like I had said the other day, you know, Desiree spends a lot of time calling out the DA.
Yeah.
And I was like, why can't we call out the FBI? Why
because the FBI got out of this in the beginning. The FBI was involved. But
let me ask you a question. Has Terry ever taken a polygraph?
She took 3 of them. She is deaf in one ear. That is a fact. Everybody says it's not, but her own son even confirms it.
That is a fact.
She lost her hearing aid, and those cost a lot of money. She took a lie detector, but we found recently, what did it say? It was inconclusive.
I don't remember. I missed that whole conversation. To me,
I mean, I don't put a lot of stock in lie detector tests anyway.
Yeah, she failed 3 of them, but she's the one that offered to keep taking them. You know, and I don't think she lawyered up at that time. See, now I'm forgetting all the information. But she's the one that came out, and she went home and she told them, hey, I failed it. And she was so mad. Like, James was there. He had to go to his grandparents after that because she came home like crying, hysterical. She was like, I'm going to take another one. Dee Dee took a lie detector and passed. But yeah, Terry did fail 3 of them. Oh, right. No, she walked out on the 3rd one. And, you know, like she said on Dr. Phil, there was a question, like, was Kyron in the truck with you? And she was like, well, of course he was in the truck with me on the way to school. And something with that question, it got her messed up, and I forgot the whole situation. I'll have to go back on Dr. Phil. But, you know, we're not sure what questions.
On a polygraph does make you look guilty. I'm just going to put that out there.
But would you keep taking them, though? Like, if you were guilty?
Well, if she's trying to prove that she didn't have anything to do with it, I'd take as many as they wanted me to take. And I'd spend the money to get a hearing aid so I didn't keep failing them.
Right. She did tell the she did. Okay, so you know you're not supposed to be.
Going to tell you not to. Like, I'm not talking to the police. I'm not. I don't care what they say, because they don't have to tell me the truth.
But also, do you guys know you're not supposed to be interrogated before one, right?
Yeah.
Is that true, or is it not?
What's that?
You're not supposed to be interrogated before one?
Before a polygraph?
Yeah, like, you're not supposed to be stressed out.
No, they usually schedule that polygraph separate from an interrogation.
See, she was interrogated.
But the thing with polygraphs, like I said, I don't hold a lot of stock in them anyway. Even the inventor of the polygraph said that he wishes he had never invented it. There's a reason why they're not allowed in court.
Right, right.
You know, and there could be good reason, you know, why. Well,
she says one of the questions was Kyron in the truck? Well, no matter how she answers that, she's not going to pass, because he was in the truck.
I wish we could see those, you know, like, I wish that we could. Right.
I would love to have the 911 calls from this.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing the stress level in a person's voice, to me, says a whole lot about what's happening around them.
Yeah. I mean, and also, you know, seeing a parent or a step parent show some emotion over the loss of their child goes a long way, too. It's part of the reason why, like in the Summer Wells case, I firmly believe that the parents are involved in that. Because I've never once seen either of those parents show one bit of emotion for their child.
No, I just see Candace getting drunk off her ass all the damn time, just to probably, because she's guilty and she's I don't know, but she's, oh, I can't stand her.
But then you've got the polar opposite, which is the Michael Vaughn case, where you've got Brandy Neal, Monkey's mom. She's shouting from the rooftop for anyone to help her find her child. She's got Monkey's Law passed in Idaho, which helps children get an alert like Monkey did not get. So there's, you know, and you've got these YouTube creators. They've already turned Summer's case into a fucking shit show. Now they're trying to do the same thing with Monkey's case. They're trying to take little snippets of phone calls that were taped of Brandy, edit them together to fit their own fucking narrative, and it's not right. It's not. I know Brandy personally. I've talked to her several times. I've talked to Tyler, and you know, they're not involved in this. And
wait, so they're saying that the parents are involved?
Certain creators are doing it. They're trying to spin a narrative. They're trying to turn it into the next Summer Wells case, is what they're trying to do. And it's unfortunate. Yeah. And when I do a video on a case, I go by what I see in the reliable news sources, and I go by what law enforcement has put out. I don't put my own wild speculation on it or anything like that. Occasionally, I will put a little bit of speculation out, but I always summarize that with, in my opinion, you know, because you don't want to put stuff out as fact when it's not. And the problem is that so many of these creators, they go on there, they don't justify anything that they're putting out. They just say all kinds of stuff. They've got nothing to back it up. Like in Summer's case, we don't know anything more about that case now than we did a year ago back when she went missing. So
I feel so bad for Summer. I mean, what is his name? Trevor?
Yeah.
He tried to do the reward. What happened with the reward money? Did they approve it, or?
Well, here's the situation with the reward fund. Again, you have a lot of YouTubers that are sitting there putting their noses where they don't necessarily belong. They didn't collect the money the right way. They said people could send the money directly to the creators instead of sending it to the bank where it was supposed to be going to. So now you've got funds that aren't necessarily accounted for, and that's why the reward fund ended up getting revoked the way that it did.
Oh, wow. So there's no reward money.
At this point, they've revoked the reward fund. Now, it's not unusual for rewards to have a sunset date. It's happened in Michael Vaughn's case. But usually those sunset dates get extended until the child is found. The reason why it's not happening in Summer's case is because of the unethical way that the reward funds were collected.
I just think that whole...
That's all reasons why I don't like... I get very leery of fundraising.
The only time I ever will drop a GoFundMe or get involved in fundraising, if the family has set that GoFundMe up, I'll drop the link for them. But I'm not setting up a GoFundMe for anybody. And I have no reason to go out there and spew a bunch of garbage on my channel because my channel's not monetized. It could be. I've got well over enough subs to monetize it and well over enough view hours. But I don't want to make money off the backs of these missing kids.
See, that's what we want to do. But like, see, when we first started this, I mentioned I wanted to put together like a run nationwide. It wasn't even gonna, it was just gonna be like a 1-day thing. And I was like, oh my God, we could try to get donations and we could do this. And Garnett was like, well, you know, I'm kind of, because I didn't even think about it like that. Like, people do scam all the time. But, you know, so when we finally did this thing that we're doing for the school, you know, the school supply thing. You know, I reached out to the mom. You know, we don't have a mutual, like, I'm not even going to talk about that situation, but I respectfully reached out to her. And I was like, hey, you know, we're going to do this. You know, she does have a GoFundMe. I'm not sure if it's still active or what they're doing with it. It's supposed to be for searches. But like we don't know what that's for. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna make this GoFundMe. We're trying to do something in Kyron's name. We have receipts. We have everything. We take pictures of every single thing that we've received. We have receipts for every single thing that we have received. But she didn't want that to happen. So us doing this for the private investigator, I also want people to know, like, this is for the reason, we are doing this for Kyron. So I hope us that might be the only thing we could do is a GoFundMe.
Just carefully document everything.
Yeah.
And the thing with GoFundMe is that GoFundMe is going to take a percentage of what.
That's what I don't want either.
And that's what I was just going to say. It might be better for us to try to find a private detective that would, one, take the case, and that would, one, maybe take donation until we got enough for him to.
That's a good idea. Because, we were thinking about.
Yeah, the best way to do it is to go to a bank and you set up the fund with the bank and have the money go directly to that bank. That way, there's no questioning of y'all's integrity at all.
Wait, so whose name is it just going to be for the fund that it's for?
You would put it under the Kyron, the Kyron Horman Private Investigator Fund. And the bank would pay the investigator out of that fund.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know they did that.
It can be set up that way.
Like, that would make me, like...
I know that would make you feel a lot better, because Garnett is, like, totally against, we trust each other, but we don't want people coming after us, like,
I'm in a rather large Facebook group that early on, got some funds that were questionable, and the director of that Facebook page spent almost 2 years trying to clear that up. So I definitely know what a headache that can be. I really
and I'm coming from the true crime community where it's drama, and you've got creators coming at each other, trying to throw each other under the bus. So
it's
when
sad.
It is.
So
it
is. This is normal for this type of. My other passion is addiction, and I am telling you, I've spent 5 years as an advocate in addiction, and I have not had the drama that I've had in the last 5
Oh my God, me neither. We've had so much.
Don't get me wrong. I work with other creators. I've got a team of 4 other creators that I work with, and we come together. I think you saw it in the Austin case that I just covered. The little boy, the autistic boy that went missing out of Ohio, and we lit a fire under Lorain, Ohio, and Sandusky, Ohio's law enforcement's asses to get that kid, and he's back now. So.
Well, there are a lot, like, I don't know if you know AFC Family, or I can never get his name right, AFC Family, I don't know, but he's really good as well. He goes live all the time. He's definitely amazing, and he stays out of all that drama. I've seen YouTubers lately. I never knew YouTube was like this. Ever since, like, the Dre McRae thing has happened, like, I've seen all these YouTubers just going crazy and trying to get money for themselves, and Ray's saying it's for family, and oh my gosh, there's so much drama.
And here's the deal. Here's my issue. There's more than one person missing out there. There is more than that little girl in Tennessee that's missing. If these creators could come together and cover more of these cases, Imagine how many more of these kids we could bring home. But
Absolutely.
instead, they're all focused on summer. That's all they fucking care about. And the reason is because it brings in clicks and views. And that's the bottom line. You know, I've sat there in some of these creators' chat rooms during their live streams and saw people drop $1,000 super chats. And I'm just like, really? Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that's why I do things different on my channel. I mean, you're not going to see me stirring up a bunch of drama. I will, when necessary, to go after law enforcement. I had to do it in Missouri when there was a 25-year-old man missing that they just refused to do anything to help the mother over there. And that's
well, I think you're amazing for what you do. I don't even know how we I don't even remember how we met. I think it was
you sent a request to join my group on Facebook.
No, but this was like my other account.
I think
maybe it was
come across one of your videos on Kyrons, and I'd left a comment or something. But
oh yeah, and yeah, it was something like that. And then I added you as a friend, and then and I started watching your videos, and you know, I love how passionate you are, and how you make it not about money, because like you said, you could be monetized or whatever. You have enough subscribers, you have enough viewing, whatever, and you don't do that. So I appreciate everything that you do for these kids. You are definitely amazing.
You know, and I'm open to having you guys on panel to talk about Kyrons' case, to talk about the different aspects that it could be. But you know, I there's going to be people on, and my subscribers are pretty dead set that Terry did it. So I mean, I'm just letting you know right now.
But, right.
Well, I kind of got to learn to. I have a problem with my mouth. Carnet knows. That's how this whole thing started.
You've watched my live streams. I have no goddamn filter, so I mean,
I don't want to make you lose. No, I won't do all that. But I'm not done yet, baby. I'll let you know in 5 minutes. Okay.
And I flat out tell my subs, you don't like what I've said on my channel, you can click that unsubscribe button just the same as you clicked it. So.
But no, it would be awesome to go on there. We have done an interview with James. I interviewed James. It's on our Facebook group under the featured section. And if you watch it, he really does have a lot of interesting, you know, stuff to say. I don't know. It's so sad what he got to go through too. That was his brother.
I'd be welcome to having him on the panel if he'd be willing to come up.
I don't, you know, I asked him about going. He's not really the type to, like, even doing the interview, he was uncomfortable. He's not really the type of person to come out and, like, he doesn't want the attention, or, you know, he's not that person. But he probably would, because he wants Kyron to be found.
Yeah.
So he's
I
definitely
appreciate that. I mean, I've had this channel since February, and I still have a panic attack right before I go live every time I go live. So
that's what his problem was. I think he said he was just, you know, nervous.
Right now he's having some personal issues. But it's definitely something I think we should bring up to him, Leslie.
Yeah, I'm going to message him. We can message him when we get off of here. I was going to do it the other day when you had told me, but it totally, I lost it. But I'll do that when we get off.
I have a stack of live streams that I'm working on right now. I've got to get a family on sometime next week. Their loved one's been missing for over 2 months at this point. They're not getting anywhere with law enforcement.
Who is it?
His name's Hector Gonzalez. He's in his 40s. It's not a child that's missing, but you know, the problem is
my Hispanic community. I want to help.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely everyone's welcome to help. There's a video on him in my video library. If you want to share the video out throughout your community, feel free to. So, but I'm going to have his sister on panel with me sometime next week.
Awesome. So how do you, I mean, you know, I contacted Gabriel Fernandez's family and Anthony Avelo's family, and that's how I started this like years ago. But I haven't reached out to anyone else's family besides Kyrons. You know, not Terry. I'm talking about like James and other people. But how do you go about? I don't even remember how I got a hold of Gabriel Fernandez's aunt. Like I messaged her and she wrote me back, and then we just started a bond from there. But how do you reach out to these families so you could get their side?
What I normally do is I'll see. I mean, I'm in like I can't tell you how many missing persons groups I'm in right now.
Same here.
I will see them pleading for help in these Facebook groups. And so what I'll generally do is I'll send them a friend request and I'll send them a private message on Messenger, and I'll be like, look, I'm a YouTube creator. I've got a channel. I understand that there's some creators that you wouldn't want to work with. Here's the link to my channel. Check out what I've done. If you feel comfortable talking to me, reach out to me.
That's awesome. So then they'll just reach out to you if they decide.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We see we're new to this, so you know, we're still trying to grow. We're still, I mean, we only have 60 subscribers, but we just started, and we're trying to we want to try to do a lot of cases, and we want to work on a lot that aren't really talked about like they should be.
Well, see, and there's a lot of cases out there that I'm getting so frustrated. You know, Cody Bixby, he's been missing for all this time, and when he went missing initially, his case got a lot of attention.
Who did you say?
Cody Bixby.
That's who TJ wants us to cover.
And so I actually streamed a search that they were doing for him back in February. Well, during that search, they found a jacket that matches a jacket that Cody was actually photographed wearing. They were supposed to DNA test that jacket. This was back in February. We still haven't heard anything about if they tested it, if it was Cody's, anything. And they also found a child's bandana during that search. They found a sheet during that search. And this was right outside in the woods area outside the townhomes that Corey Bixby was living in at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What? Well, TJ told me that they stopped even looking for him.
Well, like I said, this was back in February when searches.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter was heavily involved in that search. They had all kinds of people going out and searching for him at that time. Now, if you want my opinion, Corey was military. You want to know what I think? I think they need to find out if Corey still had access to the military base, because I think there's a good possibility that if he did something to Cody, he's hidden on a base somewhere.
But how would he get him there without anyone noticing?
It's easy. Well, I mean, they would notice that he went into the base, but you know, you can cover a truck bed up. You can have him hidden under a blanket in the back seat. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Right? He was a toddler, right? Or
he was 5 years old.
Okay.
TJ wants us to because she said that the parents, like the mom, I mean, and her family haven't even came out, or they stopped looking. I don't know.
I haven't seen the mom come out. What I have seen is Corey's sister make an ass of herself on TV. She was asked about her nephew, and I can't remember what her exact words were, but it made her brother look guilty as sin. So
right.
Oh, Garnett, didn't I reach out to that sister?
I think so.
Oh yes, now I remember. But she didn't respond back. Well, I didn't even check. That's on my other account.
But yeah, I mean, she basically said something about her nephew being irrelevant, and I was like, "Oh yeah, really?"
That's what she. Oh my god!
Wow.
These people just. Ugh.
Well, I guess I got my reading for the night.
Huh?
I said, I guess I got my reading for the night.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna dig into him, and we'll go with PJ and.
Oh yeah.
More about it.
We definitely need to. You know, we were actually. It's funny that you brought up Johnny Gosh because we were gonna. I was telling Garnett about the case earlier this morning. We were going over some people that we wanted to do a show on. I brought up Gabriel, I brought up Anthony Avelos, and then I brought up him because I found it so odd. Remember when the mom said that he went and knocked on her door?
Yes.
And then what did he say again?
He said that he could not stay, that for her protection as well as his, yeah. he could never come back again. But
yeah, and some people were saying she only did that so she could bring more attention to the case again.
I've got mixed feelings. I mean, I love Noreen to death. But some of the stuff that she comes up with is kind of out there sometimes. But I would love to have her on my panel. I would love to get a hold of her. I don't know how to reach her, but I would love to get a hold of her and have her.
I could try to help you.
And the thing with the Johnny Gosh case that's only touched me is he was the original child on the milk carton. He was the first child that was on the milk carton.
Him and Marvin, or we were looking it up earlier.
Boy. Yeah, yeah. And it's actually because of the work that Noreen did that they no longer tell these families that you have to wait 48 hours to report your child missing. They still do it. They try to do it in some of the adult cases, but they can't not do that in a child's case. And if I want everyone, if they happen to be listening, if you ever have a law enforcement officer tell you you have to wait 48 hours to report your child missing, you go straight to the district attorney because you do not have to wait 48 hours.
That's good information.
That really is. It is. Yeah, because I was still thinking, they still had like a specific day, or you could, after 48 hours you could, which I always thought was so ridiculous. That doesn't even make sense.
I mean, here's the thing: the first 24 to 48 hours in any person's case are the most critical. So telling a parent whose child's gone missing that you've got to wait 48 hours, that you've already blown that case out of the water. And you've hurt the chances of finding that child. So, and that's what they did in Johnny's case. I mean, and they never took Noreen seriously. They classified Johnny as a runaway from day one. They never believed Noreen when she told them, no, Johnny's never run away. This is uncharacteristic of him. Listen, you need to listen to these parents. They know their kids better than anyone.
Exactly. And we would oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say. I got lost. Well, like always.
It is getting late.
What time is it? Oh, it's 11:30.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to, like, I think our next case, we really want to do Orion's case, which is Garnett's grandson. That's going to be a longer one as well. We were just breaking Kyron's story down because it's so much, and we could keep going and going and going. But we're just going to leave it at, this for now. And we want to do a few.
I really appreciate y'all letting me come up.
No, we appreciate you. you took your time to come on here and, actually tell us how you felt, and you were really respectful about it. I mean, usually people go off on us for even thinking,
No, I mean, like I said, I'm open-minded on all of these cases. A lot of people accuse me of being a Brandy supporter because of how I go after the other creators that are trying to turn Michael's case into a circus. I'm not a Brandy supporter. If Brandy or Tyler, either one, are responsible for what happened to Monkey, I'll be the first one to come on my channel and say, hey guys, I was wrong. But you know what? I would rather err on the side of the parents than go attack this family at the time that they're hurting the very worst that they've ever hurt in their lives, and then be like, oh, sorry. Because you know what? One day, Michael's going to come home. Summer could possibly come home. I doubt it, but could possibly come home. And they're going to Google their name. They're going to see all these YouTube videos and see what everyone is saying about their families. And as if they weren't traumatized enough by what already happened to them, that's going to traumatize them even further.
Yes. Yes.
It's very true. And, I don't know. We've spoken on, we call her DY because we don't want to, earlier I said the name, but on the mom, because, we just find it so strange. We found out that, we just found out a lot of stuff that nobody's ever said before, So we did bring her up in the videos, and sometimes we do, but we're trying to get away from that as well. But it's like, it's only, people are trashing and threatening and harassing Terry with no evidence, no anything. So just like that mom that you're saying that you I guess support, Terry lost everything as well. Imagine her. I'm just saying imagine because a lot of people don't think she's innocent. So if she is innocent, this lady has gone through hell, like, by herself. Everybody lost her. I mean, she's happily married now. She, I don't know what she does, but I think she's working, right? Garnet?
I don't know. Because, I don't know because Desiree.
Well, we just.
I did it again.
You said her name.
Yeah. Their group says that she's filed for disability or something. So I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, they've called this woman's workplace, every single job she's had, and they follow her home. They take pictures.
People to do this.
They encourage people. This guy the other day told somebody that she needs to be what with a cow something.
Cattle prod. They need to break out the cattle prod for her.
And these people are calling, and they're not even saying, hey, no, it's not okay to encourage violence. Like, they're encouraging this behavior, and
that's what they do, but
it's disgusting. And so it's like this woman, she's being harassed, and there is no evidence, nothing. And I think people just need to get back to just Kyron and believing he is still alive, because I feel like he's alive. I feel he is out there, whether he was trafficked and he's could just not be. I mean, we had somebody come the other day and tell us this whole thing. Like, it was a big tip, and it actually made sense when we pieced it together. We turned it into law enforcement. But people were so scared to come out with tips because of this certain group. And that's why we made our group, because we've had so many people like, oh my God, they wouldn't listen to me over there. I tried to reach, the mom, and they just blew me off, and da-da-da. So everything we get, we turn in now.
And that's how it should be. I mean, if someone's got a tip, it shouldn't go to a fucking YouTube creator. It needs to go straight to law enforcement.
Yeah, and that's what we do. But see, people were reaching out to DY and she was just ignoring it. The first time I met her, somebody saw how I was so outspoken and they wrote me and they gave me a tip. I wasn't in a group at this time. We didn't form a group. We didn't know James at the time. And I wrote Desiree, I'm like, hey, you know, how can I get a hold of law enforcement? This person came with me to this. And she blew it off. Like, she didn't do anything with it. She didn't, you know, she was just like, basically, that does not make sense. That did not happen.
Here's what I usually do. If someone submits a tip to me, whether it's through my comment section or they email a tip to me or whatever, I screenshot that tip and I forward it to the local law enforcement in whatever jurisdiction, because they can usually take that information to try to track the IP address.
That's what we do, but these people give us their numbers, they give us their information, they give us everything, and then we do screenshot stuff, and everything that we get, you know, it goes to Ellie. So that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to let people know it's okay to come out with whatever you saw. You know,
absolutely. And the thing is, and I say it in all of my videos, a lot of people are afraid to come forward with a tip because they think it's too small or that it's something that law enforcement already knows. And I'm like, dude, it is absolutely critical, no matter how small the tip is, come forward with it, because I have seen a lot of cases where it's that small tip that you think's insignificant that breaks the case wide open.
Right?
Exactly.
That one thing that they've been missing that does it.
Exactly.
And that thing could be just an acorn.
This person came out the other day and said, what did he say about the Garnett? We spoke to him, but then when I asked him for more information,
the motorhome.
The motorhome. Yeah, that he saw Kyron in a motorhome, but he didn't want his name or anything down. He said this was years ago. And I'm like, but why? Why wouldn't you want to help Kyron? And he was like, I'm good. So we do get those weird people, but you know, you never know if it's true or not. So every little thing matters. If you think it's small, it's not. So I'm glad. That's why we made this group. It's not a Terry supporter group. It's a Kyron supporter group, and it's for people to feel safe and come out and say, hey, I might have saw something, you know. So yeah, I'm glad that you joined our group. I'm glad that, you know, you can try to learn something new that you didn't before. And I'm glad that we have your input in it, because you've done this longer than us, you know. So it's always good to have that different opinion. Or
definitely a learning process. For sure. I've learned so much in the past 5 months. Good Lord, I had no idea. Number one, I had no idea what was involved in starting a channel. I was like, oh yeah, anyone can start a channel. You just click on your little channel and you go and talk.
How did you get so many subscribers so fast?
Well, I happened to I ended up on a panel on a channel that had over 100,000 subscribers, and they shouted my channel out. So that's part of what helped me.
Oh wow! See, that's what AFC Family did, but this was way before I had surgery, and I wasn't even involved with Kyron or any of that. And I had surgery for cancer, and then but that was a long time ago. And then my brother, he has like 16K subscribers. He's a Raiders fan. He does videos about the Raiders and all this. I'm like, hey bro, like shout me out, you know, give me some subscribers. He's like, sis, you gotta have your own people. Like my Raiders people are not interested in true crime and I'm like, yeah, but it's about missing people, missing children. Like everybody should be interested in that.
We need to get you up to 500 subscribers so that you get a community tab. Because I'll tell you what, when my channel really started taking off was after my community tab, and I started posting flyers of all these missing kids up there. And because a lot of people, even if they're not subscribed to your channel, they still see some of those posts on that community tab. And
I was wondering how to do that the other day, and I was looking, and I was like, how do they do that? I didn't know you had to have a certain amount of subscribers.
Yeah, you've got to have 500 subscribers to get the community tab. And, and it'll take about 2 weeks for them to give it to you after you hit 500 subscribers. But yeah, because I mean, you see how many cases I actually do videos on in a day, and there's no way I could cover all the kids that are out there that I want to cover. So I try to put 5 to 6 videos out a day, but I put countless flyers on that freaking community tab. So.
And I know that does help, and that spreads, the people that you can't get to right then. The
issue that I have, though, is that YouTube does not let your subscribers share from your community tab. Other creators can share it to their community tab, but a subscriber has no ability to share it from your community tab to their Facebook or their Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the only way they can do that is to take a screenshot and post it.
See, they should change that. They definitely should. But we would appreciate a shout out from you.
Oh, definitely. I'll share the live stream that we did tonight, and I'll shout your channel out. No problem at all.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you giving us advice about the private investigator, because that's something that we discussed from the beginning. So, if we can get whatever advice you have, and kind of work together in it, like try to get as many people as we can to do the mile runs in September. I think everybody should work together instead of fighting each other. And that's what I don't understand about YouTubers. They just fight, and it's like, we all need to work together. Imagine how much we could change if.
Yeah, I mean, we don't all have to agree on what we think happened in a case. But the bottom line is getting that child's information out.
Exactly. Yep.
It's so nice.
Huh?
It's just nice to talk to people that get it.
I know.
All you do is just get awareness out there. And like you said, there's so many cases. So many.
There is. And, people can debate. I mean, they can disagree. We can have like a healthy debate. But at the end of the day, we still know it's for the child, and that's all that matters. None of our opinions really, matter. Yeah. So, you guys, it is getting late. We really appreciate you coming on and speaking. Like, it was so random, but I'm so glad that you actually came and watched and wanted to join. I'm so glad that you did that.
Yes, thank you very much.
We really appreciate it. And you are amazing. I love your videos, and I'm inviting people to your group. I'm still locked out of my other Facebook, so I can't do as much as I did with our group, but I will once I'm out of Facebook jail.
All right, well, I appreciate you having me up, and anytime y'all need any help with anything or need advice, my inbox is always open. So
thank you.
I appreciate that. Is there a way, how do I attach, is there like a what's it called, like an @ what is that, like a tag I could tag you on in the video? Or
well, again, that's one of those things. Once you hit 500 subscribers, it lets you tag other creators, but yeah,
so I can't even do that.
I mean, once you hit that, then you just go do the @ and then Arctic Fox True Crime, and it tags me in it. But you've got me on Messenger. You can send me whatever if you want me to share something out. I can certainly do that. My email is in the channel description for my channel, so you can. It's Arctic Fox True Crime at Gmail. So if you want to reach out that way, you can do that too. So.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll definitely keep in touch. I'm not done yet. I'm almost done, Sophie. My daughter's like over here begging me to look at her school supplies. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll keep in touch. And we still have to do that, the Chiron prayer, but it is late. I don't know if you guys have time tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I think I'm pretty open for most of the day. So
I think I'll try it. What way did you say that you did it from stream?
I use StreamYard just like you're doing your live, but I don't know if you could do that for that, because StreamYard limits how many people you can have at one time there. I think you're better off using Zoom for it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just do it just like that. I don't know why it gave me a time limit. That was so weird. But yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. I'll send you a Zoom link. And Garnett, she has to work. Yeah. She works from like 1 to like 10 at night, 10:30.
Yep.
I'm sure Cynthia will be there.
Yeah. What time is it? What's our time difference? Like, it's 12 o'clock here.
It's 10:50 here, so.
Oh, okay. So we're only an hour different. So maybe when Garnett gets off work, we could do that.
All right. Well, let me know. I am gonna get ready to go to bed, guys.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I need to hop off. My other creators are blowing me up right now, needing my help with a case. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
thank you. I appreciate you letting me up, even though we didn't necessarily agree on certain aspects of the case. But I am keeping an open mind. I mean, and I'm certainly going to look into the trafficking aspect of it.
And that's what James has always said too. I'll tag you in the interview if you want to watch it. That's what he said it. That's what he thinks it is. I guess that's just the only thing that makes sense to me. And it's so much of it that goes on. I don't know.
Oh, and it's not just Oregon. I'm seeing a lot of trafficking out of Tennessee, South Dakota with our native brothers and sisters. There's been a lot of trafficking going on. So.
It happens. It's so sick. I don't understand. I really don't. But
I'm gonna bid you a good night, and I will see you. You're in the group. Shout out to me on Messenger if you need to.
Okay.
But take care, and thank you for having me up.
You too. Thank you for joining.
All right. Bye.
All right, everybody. We are off. We had Arctic Fox True Crime hop on last minute. He's definitely amazing. You guys should go watch his videos. We kind of went over several cases, but we just wanted to get some misinformation out there. We have so much more, you guys. And we kind of talk about it on all the other videos. So if you want to join our group, Kyron Horman Investigation Old, New, and Ignored Tips on Facebook, you can learn a lot more. We just need Kyron found. We have prayers for him on Sunday. We have a school supply for Skyline going on, and that's in honor of him. We also have miles for Kyron in September. You can ride a bike, you could swim, whatever you could do a mile in. It's got to be every day, and we're gonna track it. Well, you have to track it, and we're gonna try to set something up. I think we all agreed on trying to figure out how to get a private investigator So we will keep you guys updated, and we really appreciate whoever watches us and supports us. Our main goal is just to spread awareness. If this is our passion, I have 8 kids of my own. I am constantly researching. I'm cleaning. I'm cooking. If I could do all this stuff, you guys can take your time out just to share a video or watch a video. I find it so weird. I have so many reels and all these like videos, these reels that have to do with just the randomest stuff get so many likes and so many shares. If I could just, like, my reels have thousands of views but like only like 9 likes, just support us so you could support the kids. That's what it's about. They don't have a voice, so we are their voice, and we need your guys' help. It takes more than a village. So yeah, I'm gonna hop off here. Once again, if you guys have any information, any tips, you guys can reach out to us on our Facebook group, or you can contact MCSO. Lita usually says their information. I don't have it on me, but it is on our Facebook group. And yeah, everybody have a good night, and we will see you in a couple days. Bye.